up and get to Sunday school. What a beautiful day.
Yeah, it is a beautiful day.
It's kind of warm, but kind of cold.
Yeah, it is.
And the snow's finally starting to melt, and it's almost spring.
I'm so glad the snow is melting, and I'm so glad it's almost spring.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm excited for spring too.
Okay. I don't know what this truck's going to look like when we get to church. You know what? We're going to run out of time. We're going to have to go to church with a really muddy truck. Do you think that's going to be okay?
No.
I mean, it's just getting muddier and muddier, but we're going to...
You hear that?
The only way...
Splashing onto the truck.
I know, but the only way we're going to get to church on time is if the truck is muddy. We're going to have to go... We're going to have to go with a muddy truck.
No, let's go to the car wash.
We're not going to have time for the car wash first. We're going to have to go in the mud. Well, we're going to have to go with mud. That's all there is to it. Whether people like it or not, we're going to be... Yeah.
No.
We're going to have to be muddy when we get there.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's going to be okay.
It'll be okay.
I don't think it's going to be okay.
Well, I guess who's going to really care, right? Shouldn't matter if our truck is muddy. No, but do you think Jesus is going to care if we have a muddy truck?
Jesus won't care.
No, Jesus won't care. You know why Jesus doesn't care?
Why?
Because Jesus is concerned with our heart, not with our truck. Good thing, because it's going to be a muddy truck. Mud is like sin.
Whoa.
I like dirt better.
You like dirt better than mud?
Uh-huh.
Guess what, guys? I think we're going to be first. We're going to be the first ones here. You know what that means?
No.
That means we don't have to tell anybody that it's our truck. It's so dirty, they'll never notice. And we can kind of hide it. So we'll just park right here, and you guys can run in, and nobody will ever know that it's our truck that's this muddy. And then we'll leave before everybody leaves, and they'll never know.
Got it.
Okay?
That's a great
Hey,
idea.
that's a great idea.
Okay. Hurry, guys.
Okay.
We don't want anybody to see us. Get in there before anybody sees you. We made it. We're first. No one's ever going to notice.
Hey, Miss Julie.
What?
Since we're the only ones here, they're going to know that it's our muddy truck.
Oh boy, good thinking. Maybe they won't because it's so covered in mud. It doesn't even, you can't even tell what color it is. Alright, everybody sit down. Sit down, we'll get started. Okay, today's lesson is, remember it's part 2 in Jesus Healed a Blind Man. So part 2, what do you think that's about? Remember last week we talked about the fact that, where did Jesus go? He disappeared into the crowd, remember? That's right. Okay. And the man said, they asked him, where did this man go? And the man that was healed said, I don't know.
They're like,
Yeah. And so then,
glasses?
yeah, I got my glasses fixed, yeah. Then they brought the Pharisees and the man who had been blind. And it says this, now on the day which Jesus had made the mud and opened the man's eyes was the Sabbath. The Sabbath is the day that the Jewish people worshiped God. And nobody was supposed to do any work at all on the Sabbath, but Jesus healed the blind man on the Sabbath. So the people were angry because they thought he's breaking the law.
Who's breaking the law?
They thought Jesus was breaking the law, and they thought he can't be Jesus. He can't be the Son of God if he's breaking the law. But Jesus did heal him on the Sabbath day, and we're going to find out why. So, therefore, the Pharisees also asked him, how did you receive your sight? And the man said, he put mud on my eyes. Mud? Remember the mud on his eyes? Oh, yeah. Some of the Pharisees said, this man is not from God because he does not keep the Sabbath. And others said, how can a sinner do such miraculous signs? So they were divided. So they were worried. They thought, how does somebody that's a sinner, if they're breaking the Sabbath and doing what's wrong, do something so miraculous like heal somebody? So they were confused. They're like, is this really Jesus or not? So finally they turned again to the blind man and they said, what have you to say about him? it was your eyes that he opened. And the man replied, he is a prophet. So the man was starting to believe that Jesus was a prophet. The Jews still did not believe that he had been blind and received his sight until they sent for the man's parents. So now they don't believe the man, they're going to ask for the man's parents. And they said, is this your son? They asked, is this the one who says he was born blind? How is it that now he can see? And his parents said, of course, now we know he is our son. The parents answered, and we know he was born blind. But how he can see now or who opened his eyes, we don't know. Ask him. He's old enough. He will speak for himself, his parents said, because they were afraid of the Jews. For already the Jews had decided that anyone who acknowledged that Jesus was the Christ would be put out of the synagogue. They wouldn't be able to come to church. Oh my goodness. That was why his parents said, he is of age, ask him. A second time they summoned the man who had been blind. Give glory to God, they said. We know this man is a sinner. The blind man said, I don't know if that man that healed me is a sinner or not. I don't know if what he did on the Sabbath was wrong, but I do know that he healed me. So the man is starting to believe in Jesus, isn't he? Isn't it terrible that
He didn't believe in Jesus?
Well, he knew that somebody healed him, but he didn't even know who Jesus was. At that point, he just knew his name was Jesus. And he thinks, well, I think he's a prophet, but he doesn't know where he is or what happened. He doesn't know.
I forgot what a prophet.
So then they asked him, what did he do to you? How did he open your eyes? And he answered, I've told you already, and you don't listen. Why do you want to hear it again? Do you want to become his disciples too? So he's saying, why do you keep asking me this question? I keep answering it. Then they hurled insults at him and said, you are this fellow's disciples. We are disciples of Moses. We know that God spoke to Moses. But as for this fellow, Moses, remember?
He's the guy who parted with the Red Sea.
You're right. So he said, but for this fellow, we don't even know where he comes from. The man answered, now that is remarkable. You don't know where he comes from, yet he opened my eyes. We know that God does not listen to sinners. He listens to the godly man who does his will. Nobody has ever heard of opening the eyes of a man born blind. If this man were not from God, he could do nothing. To this they replied, you were steeped in sin at birth. How dare you lecture us? And they threw him out.
Threw him out what?
They threw him out of the synagogue, of the church.
Who did?
The church.
Who
The
did they
Jewish
throw
people
out?
threw him out. They weren't believing him. They didn't want to believe
You
him.
mean the blind man or Jesus?
The Jewish people threw the blind man out because they thought that the blind man was just making up stories. That's why they said, you're one of his disciples. They thought you're one of the people you're walking around making up stories so it looks like this man is doing something. But that wasn't the case. Jesus really did heal him and he really wasn't blind.
Yes, but how come Jesus would just come back and he would tell them that he is telling the truth?
Well, that's exactly what happened. Jesus heard that they had thrown him out. And when he found him, he said, do you believe in the Son of Man? And the blind man said, who is he, sir? The man asked, tell me so that I may believe in him. And Jesus said, you have now seen him. In fact, he is the one speaking with you. So Jesus came back, he found the blind man, and he said, I am the Son of Man. He told the man who he was. He said, I am Jesus. Then the man said, Lord, I believe, and he worshiped God. So when he found out who Jesus was, then he worshiped him. So Jesus said, for judgment I have come into this world so that the blind will see and those who see will become blind. Some Pharisees who were with him heard him say this and said, what? Are we blind too? And Jesus said, if you were blind, you would not be guilty of sin. But now that you claim you can see, your guilt remains. So at that point, Jesus was talking about spiritual blindness. Do you know what spiritual blindness means?
No.
That means even when Jesus is out there reaching for you and trying to help you, and you refuse him, and you don't want Jesus' help, and you don't want to believe because you want to stay stuck in sin, that's spiritual blindness. And that's really sad because Jesus wants to come help us. You know what's really neat about this miracle?
What?
Jesus found this blind man. The blind man had no way of finding Jesus. He couldn't see him. Jesus went and found this man.
Of course they gotta find him. You gotta see him.
I know. So Jesus went and found him. Do you know, he actually maybe even does things in your life that makes you think, boy, maybe I need Jesus. Sometimes our sin, when we're all covered in sin and our hearts are sinful, sometimes our sin maybe brings us closer to Jesus. Sometimes when we do things that are really bad and we think, oh, what am I going to do? How am I ever going to get out of this big muddy mess?
Sometimes.
Then we turn to Jesus.
Sometimes.
You know what's really, really neat about Jesus? What's the best thing ever?
What?
Jesus doesn't care one bit how dirty our hearts are when we come to him. He doesn't care at all. Because he already knows our hearts are sinful. And he already knows he can heal our hearts. He can make our hearts completely clean. Just like he told the man, go wash in the pool of Siloam. And the man obeyed. And Jesus made the man perfectly clean.
Kind of like our truck.
And his
when
sight
we
came
need
back.
to go to the...
Miss Julie.
Kind of like our truck, or we need to go to the car wash.
Miss Julie,
Yeah?
if the blind man was going into the pool, then he needed to get his eyes fixed. Maybe since he couldn't see because of all that mud and he was still blind, he could have bumped into a tree.
He could have, you're right.
Well, but maybe,
I
maybe Jesus tried to help him get there so he can look where he was going.
That could be.
Wait.
What?
Was it the water or Jesus that healed him?
Jesus healed him by his
I was
power.
thinking it was Jesus, but...
Yeah, it was Jesus. But Jesus told him he had to do something. Just like we have to do something to be healed by Jesus. Do you know what we have to do?
What?
It's pretty simple.
I think
It's not that hard. It's not. We don't
what we
have
need to do.
what?
Believe him?
You're right. We need to believe him. We don't have to go to church, and we don't have to dress special, and we don't have to have a clean truck when we drive in. We don't have to have a clean heart when we come to Jesus. We don't have to already be a good person. You know what we have to do?
What?
Believe him.
We have to believe in Jesus, and we have to recognize.
I believe in Jesus. If Jesus wasn't real, then why would people write books about it?
I know. You know what we have to do? We have to recognize that we're a sinner. Do you know in Romans it says, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God?
That's why he died on the cross.
That's right. That means that everybody is a sinner. We have to recognize that we're a sinner, and we have to believe that Jesus came to forgive us of our sin. So we don't have to have a clean truck. Good thing, right? We came with a muddy truck. You know what else people do?
What?
Once people recognize that they're a sinner, people try to hide their sin, don't they?
Yeah, but what? So
They try to hide it just like, oh dear, just like we tried to hide our truck. We didn't want to look bad in front of anybody, did we?
nope.
So we thought if we got here first and got in the church, they'd never know the truck was dirty. We could get out of here.
It doesn't matter if we're dirty or if we're blind.
No,
God loves us anyways.
you're right. It doesn't matter if you're dirty or if you're blind or anything. God loves us anyway. And he still wants us to come to him, and he still wants to heal us.
Even grumpy people.
So that's the second part of our story. That's the second part of the miracle, that the man
Is
believed
there
in
3
Jesus.
parts of the story?
Nope, that's it. This is the last
Wow.
part of that story, and we'll do another miracle next week.
Well, what else happened?
You know what we have to do
I have
next?
a question.
What?
How many miracles are there?
I'm not sure. But you know what we have to do next?
What?
We gotta go wash the truck. What do you think?
yeah!
Okay, see you next week, kids.
Let's go!
Bye.
Miss Julie, what is a car wash anyway?
You guys have never been to a car wash?
No. No, we wash cars with a hose and a bucket.
Oh, you've never been to an automatic car wash?
No.
Oh boy.
Sounds kind of boring.
showering. We'll see.
This is a nice day, Miss Julie.
Oh no!
Yuck! Oh no, the truck just got even more dirty.
Oh no, we really do need that car wash.
Yeah, we sure do. Whoa! The water's running down the window.
Almost to the car wash. I hope this works.
Is that it?
No, it's up here.
I'm kind of scared.
There it is. Oh, looks like there's a line for the car wash.
Oh boy.
Here we
Grandma,
are.
You just stay still.
Now we gotta wait in line. Whoa, that looks pretty interesting in there, doesn't it?
Yeah. It looks scary.
Please remove your card. Please make your selection. Please wait while you're Thank you. When the wash is ready, please pull forward into the wash.
Hey, Miss Julie.
Yeah?
I'm not so sure about this.
Why?
I'm kind of worried. I've never been in a car wash before.
Oh,
I'm really scared.
It should be fine. I don't think you need to be scared of anything. It's perfectly safe, and we'll be
we're so scared.
when it's done, we'll be all clean.
Okay.
It'll be great.
Let's go. I don't want to go in here.
It's okay.
This is weird.
It's just a car wash.
It's kind of weird and it's kind of dark in here. Whoa.
Here we go.
Well, this is nice. I can't see
Yeah, that's not a problem. See? Pretty simple, right?
It's just a little Wow, look at those. Look at these. Whoa. 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 Look at those. This is awesome. Awesome. The scrubbers. It looks like we're going through a waterfall.
It does seem like we're going through a
Oh,
waterfall,
it's gonna
doesn't
eat
it?
us! Oh, look at that! Look at that! Look at that!
Wow.
This is amazing! It's red.
I think it's working pretty good.
Here's another one. Whoa! What is happening? Look at that! Look at that!
It's washing.
Look at that!
Isn't it awesome? What do you think? No, we're not exiting. No,
What's
it's
happening?
rinsing.
I'm glad it takes a long time. This isn't bad.
No, it's not
The
bad.
rinsing I like.
You like the rinsing?
What's this? The soap?
What do you think?
It's gonna scrub again! What's going on?
Well, it says rinsing and clear coat.
Stop. Back up. Go. Stop, back up.